Happy Melly Monday! I've just returned from a week-long medieval living history type event where I spent quite some time braiding my friend's hair, so I want to share with you my favorite easy braided hairstyles. I'm starting with a basic Dutch braid straight down the head. I'm making sure her hair is thoroughly combed through before tilting her head back a bit and grabbing a piece of hair from her forehead. I'm splitting it into 3 pieces to form the 3 strands of the braid, before placing first the right strand under the middle one, and then the left one under the new middle strand. Now it's the right side's turn again, but I'm first picking up some hair from her head and adding it to my strand before placing it under the middle one. The left strand also gets some new hair added before going under the middle. Then the right side again gets some hair and goes under the middle. And the left side gets some hair and goes under the middle. And I'm making sure that all of the hair is lying neatly against her head. This pattern continues all the way down the head. I'm making sure to keep the sections more or less straight and the length of the hair untangled. Once I reach the neck area and all of the loose hair has been added, I just continue braiding without adding more hair. When I'm almost at the end, I'm adding a ribbon to the braid and continuing a bit to secure it before using the ends to tie off the braid. This is fairly secure and much prettier than a rubber band. And with that, this hairstyle is finished. It is practical and I like to use it for physical work, for example in the garden, as it keeps the hair nice and secure. I especially like this braid for haircuts where the top hair is long and the sides are short, especially if the top hair isn't yet long enough for a ponytail or a bun. It also gives a nice Viking look with minimal effort. The Dutch braid can also be used to make crowns or halos out of hair. For that, I'm having her tilt her head to the right and I grab some hair just above the left ear. Now I'm braiding along her forehead, but I'm only adding hair to the right strand, which is facing forwards. The left strand gets used as it is without any hair added to it. I'm also sorry for the camera angles and lighting glitches, as it is quite difficult to place the camera between me and another person. Once I reach the other ear, I continue the braid in a big circle around her head, but now I'm also adding hair on the other side. With this, I'm not making clear sections, instead I'm just grabbing the hair as it lies, so it continues to lay vertically across her head. When I reach the other ear again and run out of hair to add, I just continue braiding normally, and since the end of this braid will be hidden, I'm securing it with an elastic band. This hairstyle could be worn as it is with the braid down, but to form the crown, I'm laying the braid on top of the other one and securing it with pins. The end of the braid just gets tucked under and also pinned down, and then I'm adding some more pins until it feels secure when she shakes her head. And with that, the braided crown is complete. This next hairstyle is more of an updo, but it also just uses the Dutch braid. I start by giving her as straight of a side part as I can, and then I grab some hair right next to it, and like before, I'm braiding along her forehead by only adding hair to the right side. Once I reach the ear, I pause for a bit and go back to pull out the sides of the braid. This gives it more volume, and even though she already has really thick hair, it looks even bigger once it's pulled out. Then I'm turning the braid around and going back across the head, but this time I'm only adding hair to the left side of the braid. Once I reach the other ear, I once again pause and go back to pull out the new section. Now I'm braiding across the bottom of the head, adding hair to both sides of the braid again. This time I'm only pulling out the underside of the braid before tying it off with an elastic. Now I can take the braid and curl it up into a flower and pin it in place. She has got quite thick short hair, so there are loads of ends poking out, but those can all be tucked under with pins until the hair flower is the desired shape and neatness. For special occasions, this hairstyle could get elevated with flowers and ribbons, but for the daily use, I'm just hiding the elastic and this style is finished. This last hairstyle is by far my favorite, but it is also more difficult than the previous ones. I'll use a ribbon about 1.5 times the length of her hair, and then I once again start by grabbing hair from above her left ear and splitting it into 3 strands. Now I fold the end of the ribbon around the middle strand of hair to form the 4th strand. Then I start braiding by moving the right strand underneath the hair strand and over the ribbon. Now the left side goes over the hair and under the ribbon. The right side gets more hair added and goes under the hair and over the ribbon, before the left side goes over the hair and under the ribbon without extra hair added. This continues with adding to the right side before moving it under the hair and over the ribbon, then placing the left strand over the hair and under the ribbon. You'll notice that this time I'm not following the forehead with the braid. Instead, I'm keeping it relatively horizontal and picking up longer and longer sections of hair to add to the right side of the braid. This way, when I reach the other ear, the braid itself is roughly vertical and in the middle of the head, so I can just continue braiding without adding more hair. The bottom half of her hair will remain open for an elegant princess look. Once I reach the end of the braid, I use the ribbon to tie it off by wrapping it a few times around and threading it through. And with that, this hairstyle is completed, and I want to give a huge thank you to all of my friends who let me braid and film their hair. And as always, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more handmade content every Melly Monday, and please let me know in the comments if you've tried these braids for yourself and if you'd like me to show some more complex braids in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Melly Monday.